What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for some match content this time. Finally, Spurs are back and it's FA Cup weekend, fourth round against Brighton. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going through a match preview and then we're going to be getting you guys on to have your say on the game this weekend. 8 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Bit of a weird time for a Saturday night game, but is what it is, unfortunately. But yeah, you excited for the game this weekend? Excited to have Tottenham back?
Yeah, I think definitely, given the fact that we have so many players back, Romero's back from injury, Son's back from injury, two long-term targets. Yeah, got two new signings to look forward to potentially in the squad. It's good news as well when it comes to, first of all, we knew Kulusevski has his work permit been granted on Wednesday, and now Bentancur, his work permit was granted yesterday as opposed to today, so there's a good chance he might be in the squad now. So there's a good chance we'll have a good look at the two new signings, and that's definitely very exciting. And obviously the FA Cup is very important. It's our last chance for a trophy this season, so I don't think we can take it lightly. We have to go full force. We have to go with our strongest team possible to win the game. And Brighton are going to be tough opposition, and I think it should be a good game of football.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely will be. Did you check out Fabio Paratici's video last night?
I did.
What did you make out of it?
I mean, he was talking about the project. He was talking about all these different things. I mean, because it was an in-house interview with the Spurs social media team, it's hard to get too much out of it because it's very much like he's not going to be pressed too much on any questions. He can always talk about the process and all these things. I don't think there was anything too insightful about what he had to say. Just talking about how we have to buy players who can improve the team now, and also looking at the long-term future, how January is so difficult to do business in, and in the summer you can really plan, and January is really looking for opportunities. He was talking about the players who left in January, and saying it wasn't about their quality, it's just about they need more game time and stuff like that, which we all know wasn't why they left. It's just the excuse they give, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. He was talking about that, and they only seemed, well, they were flashing images up of everyone, but it seemed like he was only talking about Bryan Hill.
Yeah. He said there are players, there are assets, and they're going to come back, but we all know they're not going to come back. So, you know what I mean? Like, as in, because it's an in-house interview, he kind of has to, like, toe the party line, if you know what I mean. I mean, he's always going to have to toe the party line, but maybe more so on an in-house interview, and he's not going to be pressed by like a proper journalist. I'm not saying, look, no disrespect to Ben Haynes. I think he's great. I think he's very good. No disrespect.
Why are you shitting on Ben Haynes?
I'm not shitting on Ben Haynes. I think he's really good, actually, but I just don't like. It's not the platform to get like answers out of like interesting answers out of him, basically.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think there's any platform that's going to get interesting answers out of him. They're very media trained at Spurs, aren't they? So
and Paratici, to his injury, he's done 3 interviews now, but all been with the Tottenham social media team.
Yeah.
So as much as I
mean, what else do we expect though?
Yeah, I mean, as much as they put it out there as if we're getting like an exclusive Paratici, but when he says things like, oh, Lo Celso and Dundawale only leaving just because they need game time, and that's the only reason, and it's not because of their quality, they just need more game time and they'll come back when they've got more game time. It's like, well, we all know this is not true. That's not why they're leaving, you know. So, but yeah, there wasn't too much interesting. Maybe the most interesting stuff when he was talking about the new signings, what they can bring, what kind of players they are in terms of Kulusevski. Sorry, he was saying how he's definitely ready to play now. He's got massive scope to improve, and he's definitely a player we don't have in the squad. And Bentancur is a very tactical player who can definitely suit Conte's needs and stuff like that. But there wasn't too much else.
Yeah. All right.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it, and I pretty much was feeling the same way as you, to be honest. Not much to take from it. I mean, it was nice to see Fabio talking about the squad and the transfers in and out for about 10-15 minutes, but ultimately there was nothing new that we learned from watching that.
Yeah.
So is what it is.
I guess some of the interesting poll was talking about being gazumped by bigger clubs. He was talking about that a bit. He said it's more important to be in the race to sign big players and lose than not be in the race at all. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Which I guess is true.
Shall we get into the preview now? Obviously, it's Brighton at home in the FA Cup, fourth round, 8 p.m. kickoff. And look, I think that It's going to be a difficult game, like you said before. It really is. When you're looking at kind of the performances between Spurs and Brighton, I mean, how's it been going the last few games between Spurs and Brighton? It's like very hit and miss, isn't it?
Have we played them this year? No, we haven't played them yet because our game got suspended, didn't it? So I remember that last season, we obviously lost 1-0 at the Amex, but then that Bale goal was the one where that was his first goal back at Tottenham. That was a great moment in a 2-1 win. The year before that, that was when Dele Alli scored the winner in another 2-1 win at home under Mourinho. That 3-0 loss was like the beginning of the end of the Pochettino reign. That was one of the worst moments probably of recent memory for Spurs. And then the 1-0 win, that was when Eriksen scored. So I think we've been fairly well. It looks like basically Tottenham win at home and Brighton win at home. That's how it usually works. Yeah. So looks like Tottenham might have the upper hand here. But Brighton, as much as they're a very good team, but I don't think they're going to be resting players in this game because they're 9th in the table. They're doing quite well in the league for their standards, and I think they're going to go strong for the FA Cup because they can't get top 4. They're not going to get relegated, so I would expect them to play their full team. They
got an outside chance of Europe though this season.
I'd expect them to play their full team in this game.
Yeah, I would expect them to play their full team as well. But you expect Spurs to play their full team as well with a clean bill of health going into it. It's going to be 2 first teams going at it. With Brighton very much an attacking side, Spurs a bit more of a pragmatic side. It's going to be interesting to see the way it plays out. When you're looking at the form of the two clubs, I mean, Brighton, they just don't lose games, which is a weird one with Brighton. Yeah. Spurs are very, wishy-washy form at the moment with wins, loss, but
the losses come against Chelsea.
Yeah, the losses do come against the big teams. With Brighton, they just seem to have a knack of not losing games this season. And even when they look like they're losing games, they pull through in the last minute. How many last-minute goals have they scored this season?
So many. Does it go to a replay if it's a draw?
Yes, I think so.
Because last round it didn't.
Did it not?
No. Last round it wasn't a replay.
I'll check.
So I'm not sure. I think it might. I think they're saying replays come back at some point. I don't know if it's this round or next round. Brighton are a very good team. That's the truth.
Okay, no replays.
No replays. So the
replays come in the next round.
Okay, so the tie has to be over on Saturday. That's exciting. That's good for us. I don't think we don't want to replay. I don't think.
Definitely don't want to go to the Amex.
No, I just don't want to replay in general, just because of games.
But, even so, going to the Amex, like we always lose there.
Yeah. So in terms of how Brighton play, in terms of them not losing, they're very, very solid defensively. They've got a very solid structure in their team. They build up from 3 at the back, but they're very different to Spurs in their 3 at the back, whereas Tottenham play their 3 at the back very much in a more quicker football transitional kind of sense. We kind of try to get the ball forward as quickly as possible, especially to the right, especially to the wing backs. Brighton have very much build their 3 at the back in a possessional kind of aspect. They like to play short, quick passes. They like to be very, very patient. I don't see Tottenham as a very patient team under Conte so far anyway. Maybe we have to develop that. Brighton can be very patient. They have got a lot of patterns in and around the penalty area. And they usually play with 2 strikers up top, like Maupin and Trossard, quite good quality ones as well. And it lends them to conceding very, very few chances usually, even against the better sides. They don't concede a bucket load of chances, even though they play nice football and play good possession attacking football. And that's kind of it's because I think of their pressing system. They're very intense. They've got a high intensity when they're in the opposition half. And they don't like to allow the opposition to build up from the back. But when they do get the ball, they're very, very patient. And they've got 2 wide players in Lamptey and Cucurella who are very good at dribbling and very pacey. They can keep possession out wide.
They've got better fullbacks than us this season anyway.
You could argue that.
Definitely. We're definitely on the right, that's for sure.
That's for sure, yeah.
Is better than what we got. I mean, we would be very lucky to get Lamptey, and Cucurella is a very good player.
Yeah, he's had a great season, hasn't he? Yeah. Basuma, obviously, he's extremely effective central midfielder. And the back 3, I know Duffy isn't probably the best, but you've got Duncan, you've got Veltman there, who are very, very, or I think Dunk anyway, very underrated centre-back.
Is Danburn going to be any sort of a miss to them?
A bit, but I think he will be a bit of a miss just because he was a starter for them. But I don't think it'll be so much that look. There was, they were more than happy to let him go, weren't they? They didn't seem to be holding up too much of a fight, and they got Webster as well, who I'm a big fan of Webster. I think he's had a great season, Webster. So I think their centre-back options are very underrated. I think what they're very good at, the centre-back options, are on the ball, building from the back. They're very good passers of the ball, especially Duncan Webster. And Veltman actually as well came through Ajax, and he's also quite decent on the ball, can play right back as well. So they've just got a very difficult team to play against. Even the better teams have struggled against them. The only thing with them is they're great in possession, but they're just really not clinical at all. They create chances, and they miss so many chances. Like they usually out XG most teams, as famously we know, Brighton XGFC. But sometimes, well, not only do they miss chances, but sometimes they get too comfortable in possession. And they kind of struggle to penetrate the opposition defence occasionally, and they can get frustrated. For example, recently against Norwich, I think they drew 0-0, and they were just getting very frustrated by trying to break them down, and that can happen with them as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how our team fares against them, because I do think, from a structural point of view, in terms of in-game, I'm predicting we're going to struggle, but because of our quality, maybe we can, if we keep it close, we can come through the game, I think. Yeah,
you've said, you've talked about their pros, and you've said in terms of their cons, that they don't finish their dinners quite often as they would like to. But where else are their flaws? They have to have some other flaws, surely.
I mean, they're ninth in the table, so they're not the perfect team, but they just rarely lose games, don't they? How many games they lost this season? I think it'll be very few. I think it's less than that. They've only lost 4 games in 22 games. I know they've drawn.
We've got 5, haven't we?
We've had 6.
6.
But they've drawn 12. We've only drawn 3. So that's the big difference. That's why we're 6 points ahead with 2 games in hand. That's the reason. But I think that they're just not clinical. That's their biggest flaw. I honestly think if they had better players in the forward lines, they could be challenging top 4. I honestly believe that with the way their team's set up. I think Potter's a great manager. They don't have obvious flaws in their team, in terms of where they're really exposed and they're massive liabilities. I think the back three is really solid. I think I got 2 good wing backs. I think maybe you could say in central midfield, when they have, say, Pascal Gross in there or Lallana, that's an element where maybe you think that they can be got at. They can physically overpower them, but then you got Basuma backing them up, so that makes it very difficult. I guess the forward line, Trossard and Maupay, is what, even though they're decent players, it's what lets them down, because as much as Maupay scored a few goals this season, he's not the most physical of strikers. He's known for a bit of shithousery, that's for sure. He likes to play on the edge. And Trossard is more naturally a winger than he is a striker, although he has been playing up front recently. So that's where their biggest flaws are. Maybe if we can keep him out, which I think with our defensive line, I think we can keep them out, then I think we can create a few moments of quality to win the game.
As much as all the positive talk that we give to Brighton, they don't win that many games. They really don't. I mean, they've won 5 or 6 games this season?
They've won 6, and they've lost 4, but they've drawn 12.
Yeah, I know, but to win 6 games is really not good. From what we've seen from them.
Yeah, but you got to think about who they are. They're Brighton. You know what I mean? So to be all those, only losing 4 games for a team like Brighton halfway through the season is exceptional, I think.
Their fans booed them off the pitch the other month.
Yeah, and I thought that was ridiculous. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous how they can boo them off the pitch.
Yeah, and Potter was spot on when he came out, and he was like, "What do these guys expect?"
Yeah, I think it was an absolute joke.
Look, I think that with what they've got, they should be winning more games that they have done, for sure. They drop points against very poor sides in draws and stuff like that. They've won and lost pretty much only 2 games difference.
Yeah.
It's their draws that really, really let them down. In terms of the players that we spoke about before, like Neil Maupay, we talk about how many times Brighton score at the last minute. How many of them are him?
Yeah, a few.
He just seems to pull through in the last minute. Big shithousery of a player, Neil Maupay. I really like him as a player. But look, if you're talking about a backup striker for Spurs, would you take him at Spurs as a backup?
Better than no one, I guess. But I think I'd like to look at a higher kind of caliber, but yeah, I probably would take him. I mean, it's hard to judge against what we got because we don't have anyone. So you could say, would I like anyone there? And I'm like, yeah, why not? But is he good enough for Tottenham? I don't think so. I think I don't think he's good enough for us. Although I do think he's decent. I don't think he's ever going to be like a potential.
He's very hot and cold
starter for us.
He's very hot and cold now.
Yeah.
And obviously Cucurella as well on the ones to watch. Fifth in the Premier League for tackles. And like I said before, I've been so impressed with Cucurella. The way he's so direct, the way he's so aggressive, the way he gets up and down the pitch. I think he's a proper good player. Did they just sign him this summer?
They did. This summer.
Where'd they get him from?
Getafe. On the left wing back.
Very
position.
good player.
Yeah. He was very highly thought of in his last club as well. And I think he does really good stuff on the left-hand side. Good attacking wing back. He's actually decent in the final third as well, and he's very intense defensively. So he's one to watch out for. He's been really impressive this season for Brighton, for sure. Cucurella, he's going to be difficult to deal with, especially down at. I definitely envisage whoever's playing on our right-hand side having a difficult time with him.
In terms of the way we can hurt them, and what do you think is more preferable to set up in the 3-5-2 or the 3-4-3 for this one?
Yeah, it's difficult to know because they're probably going to set up in a 3-5-2. So if we set up in a 3-4-3, we are probably giving up the midfield. Which if they're going to have three in the middle, especially the way Brighton like to play, it's going to be very difficult to be able to win the ball back off them. So in that sense, it's a 3-5-2 would be the best. But in terms of the players we have available, we have everyone available, but in terms of the players, in terms of our squad, I think it best suits a 3-4-3 to get the best out of the players we have. I think we need
just throw Kulusevski in there straight away.
You could throw in there, but I think with Lucas there, with Son there, Son coming back. You probably want both of them in the team. That's the thing, and also that's probably going to be the best way to hurt them, as much as maybe having Kane and Son up front in a 2. I guess it could work. I mean, I think it would work actually if we put a midfield 3 of maybe Højbjerg, Skip, and Winks, or if Bentancur's already put him in. I think the best way to battle this Brighton side would probably be 3-5-2, but I just wonder whether he'll do it. I think he would do a 3-4-3. I've got a feeling. A
lot of people, I mean, maybe not a lot of people, but people around social media seem to think that 3-5-2 is definitely more suited to us, and we play our better football at 3-5-2. Do you agree with that?
I definitely think we've played our best for Wonder Conte in a 3-5-2. Our best two performances, you'd probably say
Liverpool, and who was the other one?
Liverpool and Leicester. I'd say. Yeah. I'd say those are probably our best two performances, and those are both a 3-5-2.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely lends. But we have had good performances in a 3-4-3. Palace at home, we played pretty well. That was a 3-4-3.
Not we had the same level of those two games, though, was it?
No, we played. Who was it? Norwich and Brentford, which we won. That was both 3-4-3. Southampton, away. That was a poor performance. And that was 3-5-2. So
Palace away.
No, Southampton away.
Southampton away, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like we've been amazing every time we played a 3-5-2, but we have played our best football in a 3-5-2. That's the truth. But
you look the most exciting in that formation, like that Palace game that you were talking about. Yeah, we were all right and we dominated them for the whole game, but it wasn't like we were exciting that game. Well, what was it?
No, I guess we were 2-0 up in the first half. So, yeah. And then it went down to 10 men. It was a dead game. So. But we have had also against West Ham at home in the cup. We played 3-4-3. We were okay. We were pretty good in that game. So it's a bit more nuanced than just we're much better in a 3-5-2. But I do think that's been where our best football is. But now with Kulusevski here, I think with just the shape of our squad in general, unfortunately, I think we're kind of being forced to play a 3-4-3 in a way because we've got so much talent up front. We can't afford to only play 2 of Bergwijn, Son, Lucas, Kane, and Kulusevski. We have to play at least 3 of them, I think, in a game. Unless maybe you're putting Kulusevski behind. And also in the midfield options.
You can do that in both formations.
What?
Play 3 of them.
Only if it's Kulusevski, really.
Yeah. What's the problem with that?
Yeah, but what about Bergwijn and Lucas? You're pretty much not giving them a role.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be the same role every game. Different games call for different systems. So I think that in a 3-5-2, you can play three of them, which is Kane, Son, and Kulusevski, or even Lucas Moura.
Yeah, but you could argue that's also a 3-4-3 in a way.
Fine, but
if you're playing one of the forward players. But if you're playing also because of
they'll be asked to do a lot more kind of work in the middle of the park if it's Kulusevski or Lucas Moura there. In terms of if it's a 3-4-3, they won't be really asked to do that work.
Work in the middle of the park. They'll be more covering the wings. Yeah. Also, with our centre mid options, we only have 4. So whether we want to play 3 of them on a regular basis, that's very risky, I think. Unless, I guess if we have one injury, it'll be okay. But if we have more than one injury, all the time it becomes a bit tricky.
Well, we've got Ribeiro, Dyer, Davis.
No, I'm talking about the centre mids.
Oh, centre mids, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. That's the thing. That's why Kulusevski might have to help out there.
I think
from now to
I think I wouldn't be surprised if we play 3-5-2 in this game or anything like that. But on a regular. But I think 3-4-3 is going to be our regular formation. That's my gut. That's why I'm feeling with the shape up of the squad. But I do think 3-5-2 would be the best option against this. I say that. That kind of means we have to dominate on the wings in a 3-5-2, and whether we have the quality to do that against Brighton, I don't know. If we play 3-4-3, then you're doubling up on the wide areas, and then all of a sudden you have more ability to get some joy there. Because if it's 3-5-2, it's literally wing back against wing back with everyone else in the centre.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see which system we do go for. I mean, it's going to be imperative for us to win this midfield battle this weekend. How do you see the game going, and what score prediction are you going for?
Honestly, I think it's going to be. I think Brighton are going to be well in this game. I think it's going to be very close.
Is there extra time?
Yeah, extra time.
Yeah, extra time.
Only straight penalties. Only Carabao. Obviously, they got other players as well. We haven't mentioned Welbeck, who's been in recently decent scoring form. Didn't he score against Chelsea not too long ago?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it. Well, he scored like 2 in his last few games. 3 this season. I think Brighton are going to be well in this game. I think the way they play, even if we get an early goal, like I think Brighton have shown they're willing to stick with the way they play. They're willing to stick by their system. They're willing to not compromise and not panic. And even if they get a late goal to get themselves back in the game, they're willing to wait to that. So I envisage Brighton dominating possession. I think Tottenham are going to be looking to catch them out out the other end. I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be long periods in this game where Brighton got the upper hand. I definitely see that, and I'm worried about that. But I think defensively, if Romero's back, or even if Romero's not back, if it's Sanchez, Dyer, Davis. Pretty sure Romero is back.
He's back, but I'm talking about back in the starting 11. It could be that's not guaranteed, is it?
I think but I do have a feeling he will start. But anyway, go on.
But even if he's not definitely back in the team, I do think we should be okay when it comes to keeping them out. I think we should be okay keeping them out. I think defensively we're going to be all right. We're going to be solid. But Brighton will dominate a lot of the ball, so it's going to get frustrating. As long as we keep our shape and keep our heads, I think we should be okay. But it's going to be close. I don't see it like a 2-0 or anything like that, or 3-0. If we win, it's going to be by 1 goal. That's my prediction. But I do think we'll win by a goal. I think it'll be like 1-0, 2-1, something like that.
Yeah, it's interesting because since 2014 or since 2017, since they come in the Premier League, we've only beaten them by 1 goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, apart from the first time, which was 2-0. The other one was 1-0, 2-1, 2-1.
That was when Aurier scored the fluke.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it is usually what you're saying. It is they usually come to.
But even more so now at Potter. You know what I mean? They haven't always had Potter.
Potter was there the last 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
So, and those both games have been both 2-1. So I could see it going the same way. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Spurs. I think they always give us a game when they come to Tottenham. They really do. They're a very good side, attacking side, and they're going to give us problems. But
it's a good point this guy made. AZ said Brighton have bought a new striker, which they did in January. Top goal scorer in Belgium they bought.
Oh, yeah, that was it, yeah. Well, we'll see. He'll probably make his debut.
Yeah, I was about to say, if he's... Sometimes with these players, for example, I know it's not the best example, but like Amir Zaki, right? he came to the Premier League.
Miyazaki, go on.
And he was, for 6 months, he was just smashed out, didn't he? And because he's an unknown quantity. He was like top goal scorer or something for 6 months, and then he fell off. But sometimes these strikers,
so many players like that, isn't there?
I know, but sometimes these strikers, even though they're not coming from the best league, if Brighton's scouting is not to be trifled with. They've got a very good scouting network. So if they really believe this striker can come in and do something in the Premier League, and considering he's got a very good goal scoring record out in Belgium, we've got to watch out for him, I think.
I think that if we stick to our guns, stick to our game, and and stick to our job in midfield and defence, I think we win this game. I really do. Brighton struggle to win games. The longer this game goes on, I think I just don't want it going to penalties. Penalties will be a bad situation for us.
It'll be interesting to see with no points up for grabs for a draw, because they've drawn so many games, what kind of Brighton we see. Do we see a Brighton maybe come out of their shell a bit more and go for throw?
They've got a lot of energy, so the later on it gets, it's not like they're going to tire.
No, but I know, but against games, for example, like against Chelsea, when they drawn twice recently, both games it was very, very tight. Like Brighton were not coming out their shell too much, very compact. But they know, because they know a draw is good enough for a point, so there's no reason for them to come out their shell a bit. But in this kind of game, in a cup game,
they might have to.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether they go a bit more attacking. Maybe they really go for try and create as many chances as possible, or they still have that compact nature about them. It'd be interesting to see what kind of Brighton we see.
It's mad that, like, when you're looking at Brighton's last away games, right? Their last away game, they played Leicester, scored in the 82nd minute the equaliser. Game before that, they played Everton. They scored late as well. Chelsea, they scored in the last minute to equalise. Southampton, they scored in the last 98th minute to equalise. West Ham, they scored in the 89th minute to equalise. I mean, every away game, they just seem to pull it through in the last minute.
Yeah, it's madness.
It's absolutely nuts. Against Liverpool, what happened there? They not in the 89th minute.
Yeah, but can you do that in a cup game? You know what I mean? A cup game is a bit different to a league game.
Well, no.
Why?
Well, you can take the extra time to see what happens.
Yeah, but that's not how you think about it in cup games. It's not the same. It's not the same mentality.
No, it's not. And I think that's probably why Brighton never do that well in the cups, because draws actually stand them in better stead in the league than it will do in the cup, and they kind of go out in the cups most of the time in the early rounds. So it tells me it holds me in a bit more positive that we are going to go through, because in the cup games they concentrate a lot more on the league, because that's more like suited to their play in terms of scoring last minute goals, coming through, draws, plenty of draws. You're not going to go through in the cup competition with draws, are you? So
true. Everyone talks about who the new United manager is going to be.
Yeah.
Pochettino, Ten Hag. Should Potter be in the ring?
Potentially, but I think when you're talking about managers like Poch, I think he should be way ahead of Potter in the runnings. So I think he should definitely be within the question, but I don't think he'll actually get it.
Do you think he would do a good job at United if he was there?
Yeah, I don't see why not. But it's also, you're as a manager, sometimes when you're at a smaller club like that, it's just a club that suits you. And when you go to a bigger club, sometimes you could be found out a little bit, and then maybe you need to go back to a little club. Maybe he needs to go on a bit of a progress before he gets to Man United. Maybe he needs to go on stepping stones a bit, gradually increasing the clubs of size, because the Man U job is a massive job.
Yeah, if I was Everton, who they got now? They got Lampard. If I was Everton, I would have maybe it was impossible for them. I don't know what they did, but I would have just gone all out, pulled out all the stops to get Potter through the door. But I think Potter at the moment, he's reluctant to leave mid-season. I think that's reality with him. So
he was reluctant to join us at the end of last season.
He was. So I think he's doing a great job. I really do. I'm a big fan of his, and I would like to see where his career goes. I'm definitely going to keep keeping an eye on. And if he does in the future become available, and we don't have Conte here, I would definitely consider it.
Yeah, well, you were banging on about it last summer, weren't you? But I think that in terms of Potter for his next role, I'd like to see, I mean, you know what? He would have been perfect for someone like Newcastle. Imagine Potter taking over the reins at Newcastle with all that war chest behind him. I thought that would have been unbelievable to see. But I think that's the kind of stature of clubs he needs to go to, like clubs with money, but fighting for like the European spots in the league. I think that's probably going to be his next step.
Yeah, I agree. And if he can get into Europe with Brighton, what an achievement that would be. Charlie Eccleshare has just tweeted saying Kulusevski and Bentancur are expected to be in the matchday squad tomorrow. Hopefully a chance for them to get some minutes ahead of a Premier League double header, which obviously we've got Southampton and Wolves.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because the last two managers, Nuno aside, in terms of Poch and Jose, when we got new players under Poch, it took them ages to bed into the team. Jose and Mourinho just like to shove them straight in. It's going to be interesting to see what Conte likes to do. I mean, do you know of any previous of what he's done at Inter and Chelsea and stuff like that?
I'm trying to remember about his new signings. I know Eriksen obviously took him a while, but I don't.
That was a different case.
Yeah,
though,
it was different. It wasn't kind of because I think he did shove him straight in and then took him out for a while and then put him back in.
So shoving him straight in, I mean, that's a sign then, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember when he was at Chelsea when he made signings, if he put them straight on or not. Off the top of my head, I remember who did they have when that first season they won the league? They had Kante, who they signed. I'm pretty sure he went straight in. Marcus Alonso, when he signed, he was. I'm pretty sure he went straight in as well.
I'd like to see them both go straight in, to be honest. I really would.
The thing is, like someone like, I know Lucas Moura past couple of games hasn't been great, but since Conte's come in, Lucas has been pretty good. So whether like he thinks, because usually with these kind of players, you only put them straight in if you've got if you've got a player who's maybe not playing so well, and you're just going to give him a chance straight away. But Lucas is kind of, I know last couple of games maybe not, but he has in general been playing well. So whether he decides he's going to put him straight in, I don't know. And also our centre mids, I think Skip, Højbjerg and Winks all been playing well recently. So whether he thinks I'm going to put Bentancur straight in, I don't think he will.
It's not just about playing well. Maybe it's about him thinking that these players can add something different and add something more than the players.
Yeah, but they've had one training session.
Yeah.
So
he knows the players.
I know, but we doesn't know them that well. He hasn't managed them before.
No, he hasn't.
So I think I'd be very surprised if they go straight in. I'm going to predict they're both going to be on the bench, but we'll see. Because I think it's a big game. I think if you're talking about a league game, I think there's probably more chance. But a cup game, if you lose, you're out. I wouldn't want them to go straight in this game. I think it's a big game.
I think I agree with you. I think I agree with you in terms of, well, to be honest, every game's a big game from now to the end of the season. But
yeah, I know. But
in terms of them coming straight back in, I think I agree with you. I don't think they will. But I would like to see them come straight in. I really would.
I'd like to see them get minutes. I'm not going to be angry, obviously.
Obviously not angry. I would just like to see it.
If I see the squad and they're starting, I'm obviously going to be excited. It's
nice to see new signings, isn't it?
And also, it definitely is a bit of a statement if one of them starts. I think that would be a bit of a statement from Conte, saying like this guy is going to be a big player for us. I think putting him straight back in puts that message out. But also, I think in this game, I'm not saying it's a risk playing them.
The Southampton game could be a better game to bring them in.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Because in this game, if we lose, we're out. And let's say Kulusevski or Bentancur come in and they don't have the best game and, immediately because they've only had one training session. That's where the bit of risk comes in. And I think it's a massive game. If we have to win. Like, I know we have to beat Southampton and the Wolves as well, but I really want to win the FA Cup. I think it's so important we have a good cup run. Especially with no other avenue for a trophy this year. So if we're going to be that serious about the FA Cup, I think they start on the bench in this game.
All right. So wait, you didn't give us a score prediction.
I'll go 2-1.
2-1 as well, yeah. All right. Who's going to score the goals?
Harry Kane and Heung-min-son.
I'm going to go for Harry Kane and Kulu off the bench.
Kulu off the bench?
To give us the winner, yeah. That's what I'm going for.
That would be epic.
Yeah,
Kulu,
that would be.
Yeah,
but that is the match preview for the Spurs-Brighton game this weekend, fourth round of the FA Cup. Now let's go to some guests. Is anyone waiting yet? No one is waiting yet, but I thought Coach Stell was supposed to come on. Where's Coach Stell?
Oh, we put the link. One sec.
Is the link up?
He just texted me.
Where are you, Coach Stell?
Sorry, he messaged me half an hour ago and he just seen it. But he said he was asking.
What's he asking?
About the pictures.
Oh, he sent me the exact same text.
But come, I want to know what people think about this FA Cup game or know what people are excited to see? Are they looking forward to Kulu and Bentancur? Also, shirt numbers we didn't talk about. Yeah. Bentancur 30 and Kululevsky
21,
is 21. I like 21. It's one of my favourite numbers.
Why?
I don't know. I just really like it. When I was
Cranshaw?
When I was younger, when I used to play, what year was it? When I used to play FIFA like 10 or something, or FIFA, no, even before that, like FIFA 06 or something, when I used to create my own player and put him in Tottenham, I always used to take number 21 and put him in the cam position. I always liked that position, number 21.
Was it because 21 was the only squad number left?
No, I'm trying to remember who's 21. Yeah, Cranshaw I liked, obviously, he was 21. Who was I liked, who was 21?
Who?
Asimovic.
Oh, God.
And I liked Asimovic for some reason.
You liked him when we signed him. You didn't like him when he was playing.
No, definitely not. But I like Milenko Asimovic was number 21, and I liked him. So he was also a cam. He didn't.
So bloody hell, I choose number 14 as my favourite number for Ginola, and you choose 21 for Milenko Asimovic. What the hell is going on? Milenko Asimovic.
I used to like Asimovic, and I used to put my number there. He was quite good when he left Tottenham. You know that Red Star Belgrade. Red Star Belgrade. I remember one game against United, he smashed it out. He was scoring goals and he killed it.
Whenever you think of Milenko Asimovic, all I remember is just being there in that White Hart Lane, sitting on I think I was sitting in the East Stand at the time, and just seeing that ball balloon over the bar from 2 yards out.
Yeah, one of the worst misses of all time.
The cross comes in at the back post, bypasses the keeper, and he literally has the whole goal to aim at 2 yards out, and he balloons it over the bar.
Yeah, I remember that. We were both there.
Yeah,
that was horrific. That wasn't the best day, but for some reason I liked Asimovic. Who else was number 21? There was another player. I'm trying to remember who was number 21 back in the day. What other 21s we had? Who else was there? 21 was also kind of like I tell you who was 21 who I liked, who I really liked. Who? Wasn't a Tottenham player, but it was Pirlo. Right. He was 21 for AC Milan. He was one of my favourite players back in the day. I just really liked the number 21 in the cam position as well.
God, you just love 21, mate.
Yeah, 21 was my favourite. So Kulu getting 21 is it's good. I like that.
Wayne Routledge was 21.
Wayne Routledge. Yeah, I liked Routledge when we signed him, but it wasn't great.
21. Sanchez, I don't know which Sanchez that is.
Sanchez?
The goalkeeper Sanchez.
Oh. Cesar Sanchez.
Chimbonda. Jermaine Genius was 21 for a little bit.
Was he?
Apparently.
21. He was 28 when we signed him. Then he was number 8.
2012, 2013.
He never played that year. Okay, we just gave him a random.
Chadley,
see, he's a nice one.
Fazio, Foyth, and Kulusevski.
Kulu. Those are our 21s.
Yeah.
I think it was mostly Pirlo, to be honest. That was the main reason I like 21.
Fair enough. That's a good reason to like 21, not bloody Milenko Asimovic.
But he was also, I like Milenko Asimovic.
All right, let's bring Aravind on. Aravind, what are you laughing at?
No, nothing. The conversation is just going on.
How are you, bro?
Good, doing well. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, thanks. A big game this weekend, FA Cup, 4th round against Brighton. How confident are you going into this one?
I mean, the new signings will give a big boost, but more than the new signings, the players going out of the door, I think so that also gives a big boost in mentality. Like, there'll be a group of players who want to play for the club and want to make a statement. So that is one of the, I think so that boost itself is going to give us a win tonight, more than the tactics of getting new players and all that stuff.
Do you expect to see, if you were the manager, do you put some of the new signings, either of the new signings, into the starting 11?
I mean, there's a chance for Kulusevski to start because he had a training session. But I'm not sure whether Bentancur had a training session. I'm not sure.
I think he did yesterday. I think he did, but I'm not 100%.
I think he got his work permit yesterday, so definitely today he'll have one. But I think yesterday might be too early. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Conte is going to start Bentancur because Kulusevski was there for 2-3 days, so he might have some chance of starting. But if they both start, it'll be a big statement. It's like, okay, these are the players. They're going to start from day one and going to prove a statement. Hopefully they start. It'll be really good to see two players Well, I think so is of a good quality for Spurs to what we need to achieve. So
How do you
hopefully.
assess Brighton this season, and what problems can they pose for us tomorrow?
I look. Brighton has been to be serious, right? Brighton has been playing really well. They come to each and every stadium with the front foot to prove, and they have a really good system, and the manager is really good. So the only way we're going to counter them is we need to start the game in the front foot because it's happening in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's happening at the and that's one more advantage for it. It's happening at home, so the whole stadium is going to be around with us with the new signing. So that's a big boost. So uh, to be serious, our home record has been not been really bad, regardless of the loss against Chelsea. We have been really good against the opponents when we are played at home. So uh, I think so. This game, as much as Brighton has been playing really well in the league, I don't fancy them in the cup games. I really don't fancy them in the cup games because Potter, yeah, they do score goals, they really draw the games, but they still have that edge of missing a lot of goals. Like they create a lot of chances, but they're not able to like convert it into 2-0 or 3-0 uh,
Hmm.
in the games which they are controlling, and they somehow like they give away the goals even though they're playing a good system. So that's nothing to do about Potter playing. That's more into the players than how they uh, how they score the goals. It's more about the quality of the players. So I think so. Our quality and what Conte sets up uh, would give an upper hand against Brighton.
Um, we've got some important players back from injury. Aravind Romero back from a
Yeah.
long-term injury since all the way back in November. Son he's back now, first time in a month. Do they come straight into the team for you, or do you need does Sanchez or Bergwijn or Lucas they keep their places?
I think so. Romero will start because he was going through the rehab 2 3 weeks ago. I'm pretty sure he's more than ready to start, and I'm pretty sure Son is also ready to start. And it's good, right? But the thing is that when we have the if you see actually I see a team if there's no injuries, it's actually a strong team to go till the end of the season. But it depends upon how many of them get injured. When we get injured, the squad depth is the problem. But if there's no injuries, a back three of Dyer, Romero and Davis is it's really good, and then you can play either Hoybio or Banks or Bentanco or Wings. So we have their options, and only thing where we can see our weak link is our right wing back, and a left wing back has not been up to the mark. But otherwise, we have good options, and especially up front, we have really good options after Kulusevski has come. We have Kulusevski, Mora, Son, Keane. So we have four good options to play, and in that two of them has the chance to start. So we have a really good squad if no one gets injured. So it's a really strong team. It's a really strong team, and we should be in the upper hand against uh, Brighton.
Aravind, how do you see us setting up this weekend? You looking at more 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, and why? And why do you think that?
Look, the thing is that mostly the Conte will go with a 3-4-3. But the thing, but if you actually see Kulusevski, I'm just looking at the positions which has played. I've seen him play behind the striker. So even if you play a 3-5-2, if Kulusevski starts, I think so he'll be playing a role behind the striker or wide. So I think so that was the reason why I have a feeling that's why Conte is more than the player, seeing the mobility of the player to play in two different positions where he's really good at. That's something which is good for a squad. Like he's not like mold. Yes, he is mold into one position, but is able to play in two different positions and give the effectiveness for the squad as a whole. And especially, I don't know, but I want to see how good how good he is in his creativity more than his goal scoring form. If he can actually give an extra hole in some form of creativity, if he can play behind the striker, because we have Son and Kane, and if there's good deliveries where they both can be feeded with good balls, it's going in the back of the net for sure. So we need to. I'm really. I don't know, but I'm really excited with Kulusevski if he starts. I want to see what extra he gives for the squad. Like what is that? And especially Conte. Conte is not going to sign two players without knowing what he's doing, and even though they're not being scoring, not being the heights, he's. I'm pretty sure he's seeing something different from what the fans are seeing and all that stuff. And especially Bentancur, when he's talked in the I don't know which interview or whatever it was, he was saying that I am good with the spaces with the if I have the ball, I'm good aggressively, and I want to show something more than what he has. So I really have a feeling that Bentancur is a player also, like as much as he's not being a good season, Conte itself can mold these two players to a different level. We have seen Ben Davis is playing in the different level. Eric Dyer has been playing in the different level. These both players were much average and before, and hopefully, as fans, we want better players than them. But if he can get Ben Davis and Eric Dyer playing a different level, I have no doubts in the manager of getting Kulusevski back to his best and Bentancur back to his best.
Score prediction, Aravind?
Uh, I'll go 3-1.
Who's going to score the goals?
I want Kulu to score, Kane and Son.
Kane and Son. Oh, we're going for the trifecta this weekend. I love that, Aravind. 3-1 to Spurs, and Spurs to sail safely into the 5th round of the Cup. Love that.
It needs to be. The FA Cup is important for us. We need this trophy. As much as we need to go to the top 4, we need this trophy. And FA Cup can at least give us the hope to. I don't want us else to struggle in the league as much as we can, but it still gives a hope to the Europa League in case anything happens. So we need the top 4 anyways. But FA Cup is something we need to win, man. It's been a long time since we won a trophy. We need to go. We need to go to this match. We need to
Never
go
mind
to
the
this
trophy.
match.
We haven't won the FA Cup since 1991.
1991, and I don't know. I just hope so that Conte is someone who can actually win trophies. Unless, please, for God's sake, don't give us Chelsea in the next round if we qualify. I just don't want that team.
You know, Aravind, when Spurs won the FA Cup in 1991, it was a record for the FA Cup, record 8-time winners.
Exactly.
And now Arsenal have won it more than us. Man United have won it more than us. Chelsea have won it more than us.
Even though we're not won for 20, it's mad that we still have. I'm not sure. I've seen the stats. We have more FA Cups than Liverpool. We haven't won for more than 20 years. That shows it's mad. And we should be winning these cups in at least, even if we're not going for the league, which we really want. So Conte, I'm pretty sure he's going to take the FA Cup really seriously. And we are only in 2 competitions, FA Cup and League, and the Premier League. So both are really important. So 18 games plus whatever games is remaining is what we need to fight for this season. And I think so with the mentality of the squad, with the squad which we have, regard them there may be 1-2 injuries over here, but regardless of that, this is a cup we need to take seriously.
Spot on, Aravind. Spot on. Great to
true.
get your views as always, Aravind. Have a good night tonight, and we'll see you very soon.
Hopefully, come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
Come on.
Always great getting Aravind on. And everyone go and listen to Mr. K saying nearly 900 watching. Smash a like, everyone. Hashtag Spurs and show some love. That's what he's saying.
Big up, Mr. K.
All right. We got anyone else? No one is coming on. We're waiting for Stel. Where is Stel?
Don't know. He hasn't replied to me. Should we open up to everyone? Maybe
Can do.
get some opinions on. I can put it in the chat. Maybe.
I'll put it in this thing here. Just bear with me.
Who wants to come on and have their say about Tottenham's game against Brighton? It's a very big FA Cup game. Can't be underestimated how important this game is this weekend. I'm very much thinking that this FA Cup is super, super important. We need a trophy, and this is our only opportunity.
FA Cup or top 4?
Top 4. Why not both?
That's what I say when anyone asks me that question.
Yeah.
I hate these questions. I asked you anyway.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, top 4 is just, we need to be playing Champions League football. That's just reality. Sean Butler was looking at that financial report that the Trust posted yesterday. And he was saying that we need basically, if we want this big rebuild in the summer, we need top 4. Like there's no other option. If we don't get top 4, it's going to be very difficult to spend money in the summer. He was saying pretty much, which isn't a shock to me.
That's what we were all saying throughout the transfer window.
Exactly. So I think top 4 is so crucial, but also Kane can't have a third year outside the Champions League now. Like he can't. That's not what he wants his career to be heading. If we're not in Champions League, all the noises will start happening again. It's all going to be very, very noisy. And I don't see. I can see him maybe being forced to stay again, but I see it being very uncomfortable summer again. If I can see it being another very uncomfortable summer if we don't get Champions League. So as much as I want a trophy, and I think we all do, top 4 unfortunately has to be something that we're very serious about.
Oh, well, look who we got coming on.
All right.
A special guest that might be in London very soon, I believe. Is this true? Is it true?
Rumours. Rumour has it.
Rumour has it.
All right, let's
bring him on. Let's bring him on.
He doesn't have a name.
Jory!
Oh, no, he does have a name.
How's it going, my friend?
Guys.
Hey, Jory, you all right?
Yeah, very good. Let's just keep this a secret for now between you and me, us guys here, right?
Sure, no one else has to know.
No.
No.
I'm worried my kids will watch the video and see it. I'm gonna surprise them on.
I see. They don't know. Very good.
Yeah.
Do they watch you regularly? Do they know you come on the channel?
No, they can't stand seeing me on it. Turn that crap off there.
That's very funny.
Fair enough, Jory. Fair enough. A big game this weekend, Jory, isn't it? 4th round of the FA Cup against Brighton, against a team who have impressed a lot of people this season and last season in terms of the way they play their football. Are you confident going into it this weekend?
No, I completely agree with your assessment. Like Brighton is a tricky team, you know. I mean, I think at least we're not going to their home grounds. That's one thing that's good, you know. And to be honest, I think maybe like this should be something that Conte actually can handle. I mean, I really rate Potter as well. I mean, even more this season. Like he's only going up and up in my rating, really, as a both as a coach and also tactically. He's very good tactically, I think. But I do think that Conte, of course, is stronger, and our squad, man for man, is stronger as well. I think overall, although they have maybe strengths that we might want to have, you know, they have some, like Lamptey, for example, is a super dangerous player, I think. But they're lacking a bit in their finishing, so that at least
massively,
yeah. So hopefully that will work with us, but yeah, I do think it's certainly not going to be a guarantee at all, you know. So. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that we'll get to see our new players as well.
Would you put them straight in, Jory?
Well, I think maybe off the bench. You know, I can imagine that he'll set up with something close to what we've been seeing from like the core 11. And if it's not really working in the first half, he might do a change with one of the new guys in the halftime, something like that, and like also a tactical change there, because I think Conte will definitely want to, like, I think maybe not that he wanted to lose, of course, in the League Cup, but I think of all the competitions he maybe thought that was okay to, in the greater scheme of things, you know. He thought top 4 is more important than the League Cup, and he thinks FA is more important than the League Cup in the grand scheme of things. That is to say, we've talked about it before, that if we don't get top 4, our recruiting in the summer is going to be that more difficult. I think he's very, of course, focused on the summer as well, and focused on how we're going to come into next season. So yeah.
When you're looking at the way we're going to set up tomorrow night, are you looking at it more as a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3? What do you think? How do you think they're going to set it up tomorrow?
I'm not too sure. I would almost refer this one to Sim, because Sim's been analyzing Brighton for so long, so I don't quite know what
Brighton is his
would
second
be
team.
the best
Didn't you
one
know?
for them, actually. Because like what Brighton is very very much wing orientated as well. I don't know really what would be. I would like, my main thing is that we have maybe a little bit of a fluid midfield. So we'll cover. We have double. I think it's important maybe to have double cover defensively on the wings, on the wings. Because they are fast there, and they are dangerous getting in behind and all that. And that's sometimes been where where our disasters maybe sometimes have happened with like Tanganga and stuff like that. So if we have a midfield where we can allow the midfielders to drop down and cover for the with the back three, I think that's important for sure. But I was also thinking about it, like because we've been seeing a lot of two up top, and I'm not sure, if that's what you would want to go with against. What's the main back line for Brighton?
They usually have Veltman,
three at the
Webster, and
back,
Dunk.
right?
Three at the back, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Two up top. Is that the way? Like, should you maybe prioritize more players on the wing? I don't know. I
It's
haven't
difficult
thought
because
that.
they like to play three centre mids usually with two up top. That's how they like to play. So if we play with three up top with two centre mids, you do risk a bit maybe losing the midfield battle. But then but I do feel like Brighton have better wing backs than us. So if we play 3-5-2, if we try to win the midfield battle, I reckon they could dominate the wings. That's the problem.
Yeah. And that then we exactly, and that's also what I just feel like Conte in general has maybe, or we, if it's I assume it's a little bit of Conte's priorities there, that to strengthen our midfield and to dominate midfields going forward, which I like that. I always feel better that way than having a thin midfield. It's more of a comforting feeling, I feel. But it also means that a lot of teams are going to go into the low block and not give us any joy in that respect. So, and that's not been something that we've had great success at. We've gotten it over the line maybe, but that's also, especially, I've been, of course, looking a lot at Kulusevski, not as much as Bentancur, but Kulusevski, I think, is going to become instrumental in breaking those low blocks down, because he's quite amazing at shielding the ball, like he really has, like, it's not so much dribbling, even though he's very good at dribbling and he can accelerate quickly and all of that. It's just like, it's kind of like Kane, some players have this, Kane, of course, has worked on shielding the ball and hold up play and all of that. But there's also something about, even when they're in run and stuff, like, it's a certain stickiness that some players have, with the ball. And Kulusevski definitely has that, he kind of does quite amazing things in very tight spaces, So maybe we'll see some of that this game. That would be very interesting, I think.
And we've got some big players coming back from injury, in like Romero and Son. Sanchez has done a decent job since Romero's been out injured, and so has Bergwijn and Lucas. So do you think those guys come straight back into the team, or do they have to maybe earn their place? What do you think?
I mean, I think now with Sanchez, for example, because he's also been out for a bit, so I think it could. I would kind of think that Romero slot in there. So I'm kind of thinking it's going to be Romero, Dyer, and Davis. But I wouldn't be. I mean, of course, I'm always. I really want to see Romero on the pitch, But whatever Conte decides in that manner is fine with me, because I really think that he's stabilized both Eric Dyer and Sanchez to a point where I'm actually okay with it. I'm not sweating bullets every time I'm looking at them ball. So. Which used to be like that, always like you simply, it's also, I think also fixing the midfield has helped them a lot. They were like in Jose's, in Mourinho's system and stuff. They were very unshielded sometimes, so they where it was down to their sorry, yeah. Do you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we hear you.
So the situation, like the critical one-on-one situation, arose a lot more often than they've done in Conte's system. So yeah, I think we should definitely back, if it's Sanchez over Romero. I really don't think we should complain, even though I like from the first second I was like completely in love with Romero. His movement, his whole energy on the pitch, the way he reads the game is just so many levels above almost all players. I think he has a RAS, like he goes out on a limb like more than you maybe normally would want the defender to do, because he has such, like, he's seeing the play so many moves ahead, so he can sometimes get it wrong, and then it can get it can get a booking, or it can lead to a goal or whatever. But I'm okay with those. Like, that's what you get when you're playing high stakes games and playing on next level, is that some of your kind of brave, like, he's a very brave player. He's a very cold-blooded player, I think, and that's definitely probably the single most important attribute that we could have gotten into a back line, because we had a lot of nervous players there before, so.
I agree with that. We needed that more forward thinking, like proactive. We had a lot of reactive defenders, and I think he brings that proactivity to the defense.
Low confident defenders through the years, understandably so, but like Kuchi is just like, he's a complete killer, he does not get bothered by even big problems, he just goes in there and gets it done, so of course I would love to see him back for sure. So but like I said, I'm happy also if it's Davis been Sanchez been fantastic for Sanchez, and his upside in terms of skills is very high still, but we've just been let down so many times with it that we're kind of burnt with it. But hopefully Conte can change all of that as well, so.
All right, what's your prediction then for tomorrow night?
It's not going to be a high scoring one, but I'm going to go with 2-0. I think we're
Who's gonna score?
I think clean sheet. So Kane is going to get one, needless to say, and the other one, Sonny's going to get one as well.
Sonny. All right. Big up,
Jory.
We shall speak to you very soon.
See you
Good
soon.
to see you, mate.
See you.
Definitely. Looking forward to it, Jory.
See you, Jory. Bye-bye.
Conte's press conference coming up in 15 minutes time.
All right.
So not long to go till Conte has his say, and it's the first time we're going to hear from him since the transfer window and everything.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he's got to say. Obviously, he's definitely going to be asked if he's happy with the business and everything about that. He'll probably be asked about Steve Hitchen as well. So
it's going to be an interesting press conference, that's for sure. We've got some super chats here. I Hate Arsenal saying we can't be Spursy against Brighton. Equaliser FC.
Yeah, that's definitely right. Let's hope not.
And Howard, he sends a message, member for 16 months. What support that is. Absolutely unbelievable. And he says, the biggest signing is getting Romero back. Hope Rodrigo and Kulu settle in quick and prove some of the negative comments they're getting from Juve fans. So that's that. Have we got anyone else coming on next? All right, so shall we call it there?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Well, we'll be back very soon for predicted lineup. You're going to get press conference as well very soon as well, and you'll probably get a Tottenham update today as well. So action packed. We got match day tomorrow as opposed to Sunday. So seeing as we're out of Europe, I imagine we're going to see a lot more Saturday games from now until the end of the season. But that means we'll be back in here on the Sunday reviewing all the games. So look forward to that. An action-packed weekend of Spurs content. Thanks for joining today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.